So back on our 2005 F350 here that had all the electrical problems. Sometimes people are their own worst enemies. I mean, I got all geared up, power probe, scope on a rope, you know, all of that kind of stuff, because I like doing that. And as it turned out, the majority of the issues that he was having here were self-inflicted, because the fuse that he had removed to keep the wipers from wiping was also providing power to some of the other things that were showing me had no power and were setting, you know, codes in the other modules. So I realized that early on this morning when I was thinking clear, and I plugged that fuse back in and cleared the codes, and you know, all of those codes, except for a couple of them, miraculously went away. What I'm dealing with is I still have a delayed wipe on the wipers anytime the power's on, and I'm suspecting a multi-function switch. I need to do a little bit of testing there. And then our solenoid out there for the four-wheel drive, there's setting a code for that. And of course the fuel sender unit, you know, open or shorted, it hasn't reset yet, but if I went and drove it, it would, you know, as the thing's moving up and down and bouncing in there, it'll set that again. But that's pretty normal on these, so I need to figure that out, and then I'll fix the 4x4, and you know, he needs some window work here. The windows actually work now when you key it up because that fuse isn't missing, so you know, pretty simple. But we do have something going on with the regulator in here, so it's making a hell of a racket. I don't know if it needs a regulator. I'll have to pop the door panel off, and I'll load test the motor and make sure it's working, see what kind of current it's drawing, and we'll go ahead and get that taken care of, take care of the 4x4, and then diagnose the switch out. And then it had another code, intake air temperature 2 circuit open, and of course, you know, he was in there messing around. He left it unplugged. It's pretty difficult to plug that back in. So we also do have the key and ignition fault, you know, and that's that little tang on the lock cylinder in there. We're not going to worry about that because that's not a big deal. I mean, he doesn't leave his keys in his truck, so that's about it. So it's just going to be pretty boring. It's not going to be exciting, you know, with a lot of electrical issues. It's just basically a bad switch. We need to do some work on the window, and then, you know, the 4x4 solenoid over there on the fender, and then boom, done. So anyway, thanks.